Hi, my name is Haley Peterson. I am actually making this video to go along with my Caring Bridge website. I'm 21 years old and I was diagnosed with breast cancer August 21st, 2012. And I want to make these videos to go along with my Caring Bridge website because I have a lot of people looking at that kind of on a frequent basis. And I just think that these videos would be a good way to kind of communicate what's going on with my treatment, where I'm at, and the progress of stuff. And I think it's a little more personable than just reading something off of a website. Yeah, I just kind of want to do this first video as a rundown of everything that's happened in the last month. I'll go in detail more about them later, but I just kind of want to do an overview of everything that's happened. I had a lumpectomy done in the beginning of August. I was told that the tumor I had was a fibroadenoma, which is a non-cancerous tumor that about half of women get at some point throughout their life. I was actually told I didn't even need to have it removed, that it was just basically a personal choice of whether or not I'm comfortable with it in my body, and I didn't want a tumor in my body whether or not it was cancerous. And so I decided to get the tumor removed, and it's a good thing I did because the pathology came back as being cancerous, which was obviously devastating. And so then I had a egg retrieval done because the chemotherapy makes over 90% of people sterile, so they won't be able to have children in the future. So I wanted to get some eggs frozen just so I can have kids in the future. I got 20 eggs retrieved, and on average, about 1 out of 10, they can turn into a child, because about half of them go bad when they unthaw them, and then half of them don't turn into embryos, and then the embryos, about half of those won't turn into a pregnancy. And so statistically, I could have 2.5 kids. Obviously, don't want the 0.5, but 2 or 3 is all I wanted. So that's really, really awesome. And I also, just a week ago, I got a mastectomy done on my right breast. And I chose to do the mastectomy because surgeries aren't perfect, and cells can easily be left behind. And normally, the chemotherapy and radiation would kill those leftover cancerous cells. But the kind of cancer I have is actually really rare. They sent my pathology because they just thought it didn't look like a normal breast cancer, and so they sent it off to Boston, to a hospital that's actually like through Harvard. And so these people from Harvard looked at my pathology, and it actually turns out that I have a secretory carcinoma, which only 1 in 10,000 breast cancers are a secretory carcinoma. And that kind of cancer, from what I'm seeing, and it's irritating because the cancer is so rare that they don't have proper studies done on the cancer, just because there's not enough people that have it that they can be conducting studies like they would in normal breast cancer. So all the stuff that they do have online in medical articles and journals are on like single case studies, or studies that only have 13 people in them and stuff like that. So it's really hard to get an idea of how this cancer behaves and how to treat it, because they just don't have that many people where they can be getting accurate information, because everyone's cancer responds a little differently. So it's hard to say, well, this worked for one person, is it going to work for you? It might work for you, it might not work for you. So that part is really frustrating. But it seems to be a trend in what I'm seeing with secretory carcinomas, that it doesn't like to respond to chemotherapy, which is really disappointing, because I want the chemotherapy to work, obviously. Like I said, surgeries aren't perfect, and if there's even a single cell left over a course of a few years, it can multiply and turn back into a tumor and cancer, and I have to go through all this all over again. So obviously I want the chemo to work. The reason we're still doing the chemo is because my cancer is actually a little different than a secretory carcinoma would normally be. Normally they're triple negative, and that's negative in estrogen, progesterone, and I can't remember what the third one is for some reason right now. But mine is actually only negative in 2 of them. It's positive in estrogen, which is good. It means that the cancer reacts to estrogen. And so that is a sign that the chemotherapy treatment might work better on my cancer than it would on a regular secretory carcinoma. I shouldn't say regular because there isn't really regular, but my cancer might be different than the trend that they are seeing in the few people that do have secretory carcinomas. So we're still doing the chemotherapy, which I start October 12th. They did a lymph node biopsy during my mastectomy, which I'm actually going to talk about in my next video because I want that to go with my next journal entry I'm going to be doing. So that's kind of what has been going on so far in the last month. And I've had, you know, that is just kind of, those are my big things I've had done, but that's just the peak of what I've really been dealing with. It's really hard to explain to people because I try to explain it, but I just don't feel like people fully grasp really how much this takes over your life. I have Monday through Friday for, you know, the last month. I had been having multiple appointments almost every single day, and each of the appointments were anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours long. I've had MRIs. I'm getting a PET scan coming up here. I've had so many different just medications and stuff, and every single day is just completely consumed by cancer, which is really annoying because it kind of like ripped away my life. And I'm 21 and I want to go out to the bars and I want to hang out with my friends and stuff, and they're doing school and then they can go out to the bars and stuff, and I deal with appointments and cancer stuff all day, and then I can't drink, I can't smoke, I can't even bite my nails, because once I start chemo, if I have a hangnail, you have no immune system. If I get an infection just from a tiny hangnail, I have to like go to the hospital immediately, and it can, for some people, mean like life and death differences. I've met with, you know, so many people, psychologists, radiologists, oncologists, geneticists, reproductive people, just a never-ending list of people I've met with and appointments I've had. And I'm sure throughout the videos I'll kind of touch base on some of those when they're applicable. But I will also be showing you my mastectomy. And once I don't have any hair and stuff, I'll show you guys what that looks like too. But I will be showing you my mastectomy. I'm trying to decide if I want to wait until I get the drains out. Right now it has a bunch of butterfly stitches over it because I just had it less than a week ago. And it also has drains that I empty three times a day, which are really gross. And so I'm just trying to decide if I want to wait until I get the drains out. But my kind of goal with these videos is not only to keep my friends and family updated in a little more of a personal way, but also to, you know, if you don't know me, to educate people on kind of the process on breast cancer, of everything that happens and everything you go through mentally and emotionally and physically, and everything your family goes through. And this video is getting way too long, so I'm going to go. I do want to let you guys know, for anyone that wants to keep up with my treatment and whatnot, I have a website, and then I also have a website to help out with the medical bills, because obviously my family did not plan for this, and it has put a huge financial burden on my family. For everyone that doesn't know what's been going on, this is my like 20-minute long boring video on intro to my cancer, basically. So I hope over the next year or so, while I'm going through all this, that you guys will keep up with me. I'm going to make that next video now so I can keep you guys updated on my pathology. So nice talking to you all, and I hope you all have a fabulous day.